How do we start it? The React project. Control J, okay. And then npm
dev.
run dev. And yeah, we can put control, press control click, and it should start the server now. Okay, yeah. So this is what we did. So let me go through it real quick. So what we did is we made two components. One was called book list. It was the one wrapping the entire section, and the other one was called book. So what we learned in the previous class was we just have to make a single component and then we can call it again and again, and we can get the same thing without doing any extra code. So we make it once and use it whenever we want. Okay, so was there any problem, or is there any problem with this part? Like we made two components and then we called each component into one another. Is there a problem?
No.
Okay, great.
No, sir.
So let us start today's topic, and this one is really important. You can call it like the backbone of React. Okay, this is like if you get this topic, you get around 30 to 40% of React. So what is, let me open the console as well. So what is the problem that we see here? Like, what is the problem you see? Is there a problem with this one? Like these books?
The spacing?
And not the design. Any other problem? Design, we can sort out the design later on. So what is the problem? The problem is that each book has the same the image, the
Same
title,
picture, yeah.
everything. Like all of them are same. We don't want that. Let me open the real one. I'm gonna say Amazon, and we want to see the books. And yeah, here it is. This one. Oh yeah, yeah. So if we were to see here, although most of it is same, okay, that the structure is same, but what we want now is we want to change the books inside, like the title, the image, and the price. We want to change it, not like this. So how can we do that? Let me first remove these extra books so we have few things to work with. Okay, we can also put space between them. And how can we do that? We can simply use gap, and that's it. Do it. Perfect. Okay, so what do we want to do? We want to change the image, the title, and the price for each book, because otherwise it doesn't make any difference. So how can we do that? We do that using a concept called props. Okay, so what is the concept? Concept is, let me write here, props. So props is short for properties. Okay, so props basically is short for properties. So what are the properties of a single book? What are the properties? Very good, perfect. These are the properties of the books. Okay, so a book has an image, a title, and a price. So these are the properties. Okay, so this is the first thing. Props are properties. Second thing, and an important thing, props are properties that are passed down from parent to child. Okay, so props are what? They are properties that are passed from parent into the child. Any problem with the theoretical part of the props? So can you please repeat it? What are props? Yeah, props are properties that are passed down from parent to child. Okay, next question. Who's the parent and who's the child? In this scenario, in this code that we have, who's the parent and who's the child? Like which component is the parent and which one is the child? Good, good, very good. And how do you know that? Very good. Because book is being called inside the book list. So any component that is being called inside another component, The one being called is the child, and the one calling is the parent. Okay, so what is the first rule of the props? What is the first theoretical part of the props? Props are properties that are passed down from parent to child. So where exactly are we going to pass the properties? Very good. We are going to pass the properties in the book list. But where exactly are we going to pass them? Yes. Props are properties that are passed inside the book, inside the parent, passed to the child. So where is the child located? Here. So these properties are going to be passed right here. Okay. And those properties are going to be accessed where? Like where they're going to be accessed? Book list is going to pass the properties. Yeah, book. So book is going to inherit those properties. The book is going to use those properties that are going to be passed from the parent. And how is book going to use that? Using props. So inside these parentheses, we can pass an argument, we can pass a parameter. You guys do remember parameters, right or no? What are parameters? We discussed about parameters. What are parameters? Very good. Basically, parameters are inputs for the functions. Okay. So here I'm going to write whatever you want to write, but again the standard practice is props. Okay. So what is this props? Let's see. So I want to see what are these props. How can I see that? How can I check what is this prop? Very good. Console.log. Where am I going to do it? Very good. Because before the return statement we have a JavaScript. So we can do what? We can console.log props. And what you guys are going to see here are, what are these? Uh-huh. Yeah, it's a curly brackets. So what are they? No. What are curly brackets for? Objects. Objects. So what are props? Props are simply an object. Okay. Okay. So the first question: why are we seeing three objects? Very good. Because we have only three books. For example, if I want to do this now, how many objects are you going to see? Six. Okay, so why do you see six? Because we have six books. Okay. Okay, the second question: why are they empty? Very good. Because we haven't passed any properties inside these books, so that's why they are empty. Okay, is this part clear? Okay, so what are props? Props are properties that are being passed from parent to child. They are passed in the parent, but they are accessed in the child. Okay, and why are they empty? Because we haven't passed anything here. So let us pass a prop. Again, I'm emphasizing on this part. This is really important. Okay. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to pass a property. Okay, any property you want to pass. So how are you going to pass a property? Let's say inside the first book, I'm going to put space first. This is the first rule. Space, just like the attributes. Okay. So let's say how many properties you counted me the properties for the books. What were the properties for the books? Very good. The title, the image, and the price. So let us do the simple one first. So let's say I'm gonna pass a prop, whatever you want to name it, doesn't matter. So let's say I'm gonna say name. Okay, and then I'm gonna put equals to, and then let's say quotation marks, because name is going to be a string. So this is the format of writing a prop. Let's say I'm gonna say book one. So we have passed a prop, a property inside the first book. Let us see, let us go back because we are already console logging it. So let's see. Inside the first one, we have a prop with the name of name, and it's saying book one. Why are the other two empty? Exactly, because we haven't passed any props to the books after the book one. So how do we do it? Yeah, how? Space, and then is is it mandatory to put name? Now it is. Now it is. How is that? Yeah, how is that? Because each prop should have the same name. For example, if we have written name here, the other one should also be name. Because we only have one component that is going to render all of them. So we can't change the name. Otherwise, it's going to display for the first one and wouldn't do it for the second one. Okay, so for example, if I were to do title here, this one is also going to be called, yeah, title. So let's say title, and we're going to say book 2. And for the third one, same title, and we can say book 3. So now we have props for book 1, book 2, and book 3. Perfect. Any problems until now? Okay, great. But we are still seeing title here. Why is that? Okay, first question. Where are these things located? Where are these things? They're inside the props. Okay, these are the props. This thing is hard coded. What does hard coding means? That you have written it with your own hands. So this title is being written hard coded. This is hard coded. So what do I want to write here in the place of title? What do, yeah, book 1 or book 2, book 3, I don't know. It should come. Where is the book 1, book 2, or book 3 coming from? Yeah, props. It's inside the props. So what I want to do, I'm gonna say that right here I want to see whatever is inside the props. Okay, and how can we do that? First thing, is props a part of HTML or JavaScript? Like, is props located in HTML or JavaScript? uh, we are outside the return statement. So is it going to be HTML or JavaScript? JavaScript. And we want to see whatever is inside the props inside where? HTML. So now we have a problem. Like, what do we want to see? Props, and that's inside the JavaScript. And where do we want to see it? Inside the HTML. So we now have a contradiction. We need to sort that out. How can we do that? So what I want to do here is I want to see whatever is inside the props, but the only problem is props is inside JavaScript and I am inside HTML. So there's a really shortcut, a really great way React handles that. So whenever you want to shift from HTML to JavaScript, you just put curly braces and you're inside JavaScript. Like, now you can do whatever you can do in JavaScript inside the HTML. Okay, that's it. For example, if I were to do 2 plus 2, what are you going to see? Think again, I'm inside the JavaScript. 4, yes. But if I were to remove these curly braces, what are now we going to see? Yes, because we are inside the HTML. So whenever we want to go to JavaScript, we just do what? We just put curly brackets and then whatever we want to do. So what do we want to do? We want to see the title that is inside the props. So how can we access the title? Very good, props, and then dot, because we use dot to access the objects, and then title. Perfect. Here you go. Is the name changed? Let's do the same thing with price. So what are we going to use? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Okay, so first of all, this book is being called, right? This is the book being called. And what is the title inside it? Book 1. So when this first book is rendered, props has book 1 in it. Okay? So when we say props dot title, it's going to show us what? Book 1. Then it runs again. We've called book again, but this time with different name. So inside the props we have what? Book 2. So when this renders, so it has book 2. Then we call book again, but this time with different name. So this props now have book 3. So that's why we see book 3. So how is it rendering different every time? Because you are calling it 3 times. Okay, and you are calling it 3 times with different titles. So that's why it's showing you different data every time. Okay, now let's do the same thing with price. If we want to see the price, we first need to pass it in the parent. Okay, and how do we do it? How do we do it? Very good. After book 1, space, and then is it mandatory to write price? Yeah, first time it's not. Yeah, okay, okay. So first time you can name it whatever you want. Okay, the first time. But after that you have to name it. Yeah, after that you have to name it whatever you named the first book or the first component. Okay. So first time it's not binary. So let's say I'm gonna say, what should I say? Yeah, price. We can do price, and then equals, and then okay. So is price a number or a string? Number. So if I were to put strings here, is it going to become a number or yeah? So it's going to show a string. We want to put numbers here, but the only problem is HTML doesn't have numbers. If you were to write numbers, it's still going to treat it as a string. So what should we do so that we can put numbers here? Very good. We can use curly braces and we can shift from HTML's word to JS words. Okay. So let's say I'm going to say 20.99. It's in dollars. Okay. So now for this one, what do I write? Is it mandatory? Now it is. Yes. Price equals to, and then why do we need curly braces? Yeah, it's going to show a string and we can't perform any calculations if we want to. Okay. So let's say 15.85 maybe. For the third one, what should we write? Is it must now? Yes, now it is. So price equals to, let's say I'm gonna say 9.99. So now how many things is this props going to hold? This prop would have now 6 things. Yeah. So how many do they count up to? Two. Title and price. Okay, so no. Now it has two things. Okay, but if you count up, if you sum them up, yeah, you get 6. So now we have title and then we have price, but we still see this the same thing. Why? Yeah, because we have hard coded it. Okay, so I'm going to remove this. Dollar is going to be as it is. Okay, it's not going to change. Okay, so after this we're going to have what? First, okay, first answer me this, where is this price located? Yes, good, it's inside the props. So we're going to do what? We're going to put what? Curly brackets, because props is inside the JavaScript, and then props dot, very good, props dot price, and here you go. Okay, now we have different things. Now let's do the same thing with book. What should I do? How do I change? Yeah, yeah, inside. Exactly. Space. What are we doing here? Like, what's the technical term for it? What are we doing here? We are passing what? It's writ it's written in front of. Yeah, we're passing props. Okay. So let's call it img or image or whatever you want. Let's say picture. Let's do a pic maybe. Yeah, let's do it pic. Is it mandatory to put pic here? No, first time it's not. So what is pic going to be like? What is an image? In coding, what is an image? Very good. It's a string. It's a link. It's a string. So let's get an image. So let's say this one. Copy image address. Put it here. Then here as well. Now what am I going to write here? Image or pic or picture? Pic. Yeah. Equals to operations. And similarly here as well. So pic. So how many properties? How many things this props is now going to hold? Three. Good. And what are those three? Yes. But we still see the same thing here. Why is that? But we do have now three things here. Title, price, pick. Each one has the three things. So why do we see the same thing here? Yes. Wait. Inside the source. Here. And which image do we want? Which image? Yeah. And where is that image located? In the props. Good. And how do we access the props? Because we are in HTML. Curly brackets. And then we can do pick. Good. And here you go. Okay. So that's how we can do basically different things. But you might now have a question here. If we want to do it manually, what's the difference between React and HTML? Like, I'm writing it manually here. Like, I'm writing title with my own hands, the price with my own hands, and then the source with my own hands. So what's the difference? So you need to remember one thing, and that thing is, these things you are not going to write yourself. All of these things are going to come from the backend. Okay, and what is the backend? The one that is holding your data. Let me show you something that's coming from a real backend. Let me show you. Here you go. We are going to work with these things. Okay, so they are coming from the real backend, and they are going to be implemented just like these things. So that's why I'm saying if you were to understand this topic that we're doing right now, you get around 40 to 50% of React. Okay, so you are not going to write it yourself. All of these things are going to be coming from the backend, the database. Okay. Okay, so yeah, so this was the basic topic. So now let us move towards the making it optimized. Okay, so the first thing, if you were to look here, what we are doing is we are saying props dot pick, props dot title, props dot price. What if we had like, how many properties are there? I guess 10 to 15 properties. So are we going to keep on repeating this dot process, like props dot this, props dot that? It's going to, it's not optimized way. So what are we going to do is, this is the next topic, and this is one of the, you can say, the advanced topics. It's called destructuring. Okay, so what does destructuring refers to? Like generally, what does it refers to? What is destructuring?
Like
Yeah. Like it
Not
generally,
in structure, not, I
yeah,
don't know how to,
like breaking something.
yeah,
Okay,
breaking it down, yeah.
so let me console log the props again. So what you see here is it a structure or is it unstructured? This thing.
This is structured.
Yeah, this is structured. Everything is organized inside a proper object. But we don't want that. Why don't we want that? Because if you want to access the structures, you have to follow certain steps. And this is exactly what we are doing. We're saying first go to get that structure, and then after getting the structure, get me that specific thing inside that structure. And this thing is going to take us a really long time to do it. So what are we going to do is we are going to break this structure, and that thing is called destructuring. And which structure are we going
Yeah.
to break? Props. And
Props.
how do we do it? First of all, what we are going to do is we are going to create variables for each entries inside these props. Like how many entries these props have, how many keys does these props have, like what does these
So
props
in this
contain.
case, we have three,
Very
but
good. And
yeah,
those threes are,
The
title.
title, the price,
yeah.
the picture.
So what are we going to do? We are going to destructure those three things and make them into a variable. Okay. And how do we make something a variable in JavaScript?
We use let.
Let const over. So let's use const. And what do we want to destructure? An object or an array?
Array.
Is this
Array is multiple things, right?
is this an array or object?
No, that's an object.
Yeah, so we want to destructure an object. So which braces does an object have?
Curly brackets.
Curly brackets. And we do know what do we want to destructure? Like how many properties do we have? We have
Three.
title, yeah. We have price, and then we have
The image. Well,
pic.
picture.
And all of these are coming from where?
Props.
Props. And this is destructuring. You break the structure. Now you can directly access these three things. You don't need to do props dot this, props dot that. So if I were to even remove it, is it going to work? Yes, it's going to work. There you
Okay.
go. Okay, so
Alright.
now we don't have to do this dot thing anymore. Okay, but now I have a
Okay.
problem, and that problem is if we want to destructure something, like if we are breaking something, why is it that we are first making it into a proper structure? Like first what we are doing is we are structuring it here, and then what we are doing is we are destructuring it here. So basically we are contradicting our own self. First inside here we are structuring it, and then here we are destructuring it. So eventually we want to destructure it. So why are we structuring it? Do you
So
get the
we
problem
can
or not?
easily access it.
Do you get the problem or not? Like
Yeah.
first we are structuring it, and then we are destructuring it. So this step is an extra. We want to remove it. Like if we want to eventually destructure something, we don't need to structure it first. So what do you think we are going to do?
We're gonna remove.
Like if we want to destructure it, why are we structuring it? So what we are going to do is we are going to destructure these three properties right here without even structuring it. And how can we do that? Just like this. First of all, we know it's an object, so what are we going to do?
The curly
Curly
brackets.
brackets. And what are we going to destructure?
The title, price,
The
and pic.
title, price, and sorry, not an image, pic. And now we don't need these. Here you go. And this is the actual way the work is done. And this is how we are going to do our work from now on. Okay, so today we have, until now, we have discussed about props. We have discussed how to pass the props. We have discussed how to access the props. and we have discussed how do we destructure the props. Yeah. So any questions until now? Okay, great. So for example, we have 3 books at the moment. So what if we have 30 books? This is going to get dirty. Like the code is going to be messy, right? We don't want that. We don't want to do that. So what we are going to do is we are going to organize our data somewhere else. Like just as I said, like I told you right now, all of the data here is going to come from the back end. Like all of this is going to be something separate. It's not going to have any relation to the front end, like the front page. But at the moment we don't know about database, we don't know how data is structured and all that. So that's why what we are going to do is we want to mimic the real database, like we want to do a dummy database because we don't know how the actual database works. So all of this data is going to come from our database, the one we are going to mimic. So what we are going to do is we are going to make a data file here. Okay, so what do we want to do? We want to hold a lot of data. So what are we going to use? Array, good. So I'm going to say const and let's call it books. It's going to be an array because we want to hold a lot of data. Now that data, what are we going to hold? We want to hold a book, right? So book has different properties. How many properties does a book have? 3: image, title, and the price. So all of this belongs to a single book. So how can we hold that? Object. Good. So we are going to use an object because we have a lot of properties that belong to a single book. So we have what? We have image, and image is this one. So I'm going to copy it or cut it here. Then it has um, title maybe, and then it has price. Am I going to put curly braces to put the price, or I can do it without the curly braces? Are we in HTML or JavaScript? Yeah, because we are already in JavaScript. So let's say, okay, this is the first book's data. Okay, similarly, I want to do the next book. What should I do? I want to hold the next book's data. Yes, curly brackets again, and then the same thing, image, and then we have title, and then we have price. Okay, this is the second book's data, and now let's do the third book. Image, and then we have price. The order can be changed, it doesn't matter. So this is our mini database or our dummy database. Now I want you to take a close look to this. Okay, this data we have, and now I want you to take a close look at this real data. So what does this real data have? It has an array. Inside that it has an object, and then it has a key and it has a value. Now I want you to take a close look at our database. What do we have? An array, then we have, and then we have a key and a value. So basically this is exactly how a real database looks. So we have mimicked our database, and this is exactly how you see the data coming from the real database. Okay, okay, now how many times do I want to see this book component? How many times? How many multiple times? How do we know it's 3? Very good, because we have 3 books in our database. But we wouldn't know that because the data is going to be somewhere different. We wouldn't know that. So what are we going to use? Like I'm gonna say to JavaScript, how many ever books we have in our database, just show me the book component for that, how much data we have. We are going to do what? We are going to put a loop on this books array, because we don't know how much data we have in the backend. We are just going to tell JavaScript, like, it doesn't matter how much data we have in the backend, just loop through all of the data, and for each data give me a book component back. Okay, and how can we do that? First of all, which language am I currently in? Inside JavaScript or HTML? Java's loops are written in JavaScript or HTML? JavaScript. So what are we going to use? What are we going to do? Carry basis. Good. So what do we want to loop on? Books. So I'm going to say books. And do you guys remember, have we studied a loop called for each? And what does for each do? You don't remember what does for each do. So let me revise it a bit. So we have two loops, for each and map. Both of these loops are used to loop over an array. And the best part about these loops is you don't need to tell them how much time they have to loop. They are going to judge it based on the data. So for example, let's say I have an array, or let's say I have an array of fruits. Okay, so now if I were to console log fruits, what am I going to see? What am I going
Man,
to see?
apple, mango, banana.
Yes, I'm going to see the whole array. Yes, but now, for example, if I were to do 0 fruits and then the 0, what am I going to see? The 0th
Apple.
index. And what is on the 0th index of the fruits?
Apple,
Apple.
Apple.
Perfect. Now if I were to do 1, what would I see?
mango,
Mango. And then if I were to do 2, I'm going
and
to
then
see
banana.
the banana. Yes. Now I want
Yeah.
to do it like, if I want to see all three of them, I need to do this multiple times. But this is not the optimized way. So what are we going to use? We are going to loop over this fruits array. Okay, and how can we do that? We can say fruits dot for each. It's a function. So what are we saying? I want to loop on the fruits array. Okay, so fruits dot for each, it's a function that is going to take
Two parameter.
another function first. Okay, another function, and this function is going to take two parameters. Let's call it item and index. So what does this mean is, we are looping on the fruits array, and each of the elements of this fruits array is going to be stored inside the first parameter. So what are the elements of this fruits array? What are the elements of this fruits array? Apple, mango, banana. Good. So all of these three things are going to be stored inside the item. So first time the loop runs, apple is going to be stored inside this item. The second time, mango. The third time, the banana. And this index is going to hold the index number of your elements. So this function that is going to take the function, and then if I were to do, let's say, this console.log item, what are we going to see? We're going to see apple, mango, banana. Map is exactly like this. You won't see any difference. But the major difference between map and for each is, map returns you something, whereas for each doesn't. Okay, so what we are going to do now is, how many times do we want to see the book? We want to see the books as much time as we have the data present inside this books array. So what we are going to do is, we are going to put a loop on the books array. How can we do that? How do? First we have to go back to the JavaScript world, and then we're gonna say books dot. Are we going to use for each or map? For do we want to return something or not? Every time the loop runs, we want to return this book component. Yes, map. So it's a function that is going to take. Yes, like for example, look, we are mapping to on the book, so it loops on this books, okay, and every time first of if the loop runs once time, it would have this one, the second time this element, the third time this element. So for each element is going to loop through. But since we want to return something every time, what do we want to return? We want to return this book. So we want to return something every time, so that's why we are going to use map. So books.map, it's a function that is going to take another function, and this function is going to have two parameters, item index. And for each now first before telling before going forwards, what does this item holds? Each element of this books array. And what does this books array hold? Like what is the element of this books array? Yeah, the yes, the object, the object. Okay, so this item has each book data, each book's data. Like it has the image, title, price. So what do we want to do for each time? Each time the loop runs, we want to return this book. So how do we call components?
Tags.
Yes, good tags. We're gonna say book. So you would see three books here, but you wouldn't see any image or title or price. You just see dollars. That's what actually matters, right? Okay. So you would only see
Mhm.
dollars. Why are you seeing dollars? Just dollars.
So do we have to add the images in there
How do we do that?
inside the property?
How do we? Yes, very good. Through props. So this is going to have first prop. So what does it take? It takes title from us first. So I'm going to say title is equals to, what is the title? Like what is title going to be? If I were to do for example this book 1, each one is going to have this book 1. If I were to do book 2, each one is going to have this book 2.
Well, the title would be the name of the book.
Exactly. And where is that
Like
present?
item.
Like each element
Title
is present
equal
where?
to item.
Very good. It's inside the item. So item has image, price, title. So item is inside HTML or JavaScript?
JavaScript.
JavaScript.
JavaScript. So we are currently inside HTML. So what are we going to do?
The
Curly
curly
bracket.
Curly
brackets.
brackets, perfect. And then we're going to say what?
Item.
Item.
Item dot title. Yes, yes. Similarly, for the price, what are we going to say? Price equals to curly braces. Perfect. Now for the image as well. What are we going to say? Image equals curly brackets. Yes, item dot image. But we are not going to see the image. Why? Very good. Because we have destructured pic, whereas we are passing image as a prop. So what are we going to use? Pic is equals to item dot image, and here you go. Okay. So is this easy or the one before? Even if it's not easy, yeah, this one, even if you think that this isn't easy, this is the exact method we're going to use. This is shorter. Let's make it more shorter. So for example, I only had three properties that I needed to pass, right? What if I had this much? Or what if I had, instead of 3, maybe 30 or 300? What am I going to do? Am I going to do it manually for each one? Obviously no. So we have something that's called spread operator. And what does spreading means? Like, spreading means like spreading, yeah. So what are we going to do? We are going to say that whatever properties this item holds, because all of our properties inside the item, right? So we are going to say whatever this item holds, like image, style, and price, pass it down to the book. Like, we don't know what this item holds, just pass it down, however the properties are. So we are going to say curly braces and then dollar dot item, and that's it. That's it. Okay. Yeah, everything is going to pass everything down, like each and everything. If we have 3, 30, or 300, doesn't matter, it's going to pass everything from this item into this book. Okay, so let's see. There's only one problem. We are going to see the title and the image, but sorry, the title and the price, but not the image. Why? No, no, no. Look, I'm gonna repeat again. Let me give you the hint. What we said here is whatever is inside the item, pass it down into the book. Okay, this is the hint. It is inside the item. You're getting close. Image is inside the item, not the pic. Yes, good. So what are we going to destructure here? Image, because we are passing down everything in the item, and pic is not inside the item, image is inside the item. Okay, save it, but still you wouldn't see. If you were to go to the errors, it's gonna say pic is not defined, because pic isn't defined. So we have to change this pic to image. Here you go. Okay, so yeah, this is the back. I'm gonna repeat again. This is the backbone of React, and you would really soon see why when we are going to work with the actual backends. You would see this is exactly what we do when we get data from the real backends. So you have to practice this one, and for the homework, I've took only 3 books. You need to do it with 10 books. Okay, you just need to update this data. Everything else remains the same, but you have to know what you're doing. Okay, just don't copy it. You have to get the concepts and then start doing it. Any questions? Okay, so for the homework, you need to take 10 books and display those 10 books. Okay. Okay, yeah, that will be it. Thank you. Inshallah, we'll have a meeting tomorrow. Allah Hafiz. Allah Hafiz. Allah Hafiz.